So, a little known feature to this particular Street Shark figure is that he can do this. Those are the actual noises the toy is making. Yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna have a excuse me, a short video for you guys today. A little follow up on my previous video, which is 4 very disappointing games. I'm going to talk about 4 games that might not be as well known as most, but that I thoroughly enjoyed and I was very surprised. A little bit of background, so you guys aren't bored, I'll put this guy back here while we talk. A little background, as I am a big time game collector, I often buy a lot of stuff, old games, and just play them basically to play test to see if they work. And a lot of these games, let's be honest, I'm probably never going to play throughout my lifetime. There's too many. But these are some that I actually started playing up, and I knew very little about them, or I just heard a couple of good things, and I started playing them, and I played through the whole damn thing. And it was a great time. No complaints. I will make my recommendations. Let's get this party started. Got 4 games, just like last time. 4 games that we're going to touch on this topic. So let's get this guy out of the way. Bonus points for you guys if you know his name. You could fill him with water and he would squirt it at you, and then do a little bit of this too. Let me get a little bit of that. Just want to make you guys uncomfortable. Anyways, let's move him over here to the side, and let's get started. In no particular order. Rogue Galaxy. Get this guy out of here. Okay, Rogue Galaxy. For the PS2, I had heard great things about this game on a couple of lists, saying it's one of the greatest RPGs ever. And RPGs I'm kind of leery of, because RPGs, as you know, are very, very lengthy. And I want to dedicate time to more games than just like 1 or 2. So this was kind of I kind of didn't want to touch on this game because I was worried it would take up too much of my time. But I'm glad I freaking did, because this game is phenomenal. Once again, let's start off with the graphics. It looks like an early PS3 game. It's beautiful. The cell shading is amazing. Extremely likable characters. I know these guys look very generic on there, but trust me that these characters are great. They're all very fleshed out. They're likable for the most part, except 1 or 2. The graphics are amazing. The combat is a real-time RPG system where you can switch between, who you're actively controlling, and you can switch your guys in and out of the party on the fly in mid-battle. Great upgrade system, fantastic soundtrack, voice acting throughout. I sank a crap ton of hours into this game. I beat it 1 time, and I could see it maybe one day revisiting it, and maybe even investing in the strategy guide, which is apparently quite the tome. But this game is phenomenal. I highly recommend it. The prices shouldn't be so bad right now. I picked this up, if I remember correctly, from a little retro store for about 20 bucks a few years ago, and a fantastic investment. I love this game. Let's move on. All right. Keeping up, this case is this copy's a little gross because I didn't have high hopes for it. Once again, there you go, you see. Keeping up with the whole RPG thing, not wanting to touch on it. I heard the Front Mission series was great. I hadn't tried it before. So I picked this copy up of eBay for like 8 to 10 bucks, something like that. Extremely cheap. That's why it's kind of beat up. It's kind of crappy condition, honestly. It looks like someone sank their teeth into it during Halloween or some bullshit. I don't know. Anyways, excuse my language. Besides looking like a really disturbing, like a Christian rock cover here for an album, besides the giant robots, this game is great. It's a tactical grid-based RPG with giant robots. Epic storyline. Took me, I believe I sank over 100 hours real time into this thing. Likable characters with voice acting. A little wordy, a little bit more text heavy than the Rogue Galaxy. Not as active, but graphics are decent. Music is all right, nothing memorable. But the customization that you have of each of your mechs is phenomenal. I just really like the freedom that I have to mix and match parts. I like this game so much that I actually checked out Front Mission 3, which is a more well-known entry on the regular PlayStation, I sank over 120 hours into that one. I beat them both. Great games. I wish the front mission series had made it bigger splash over here in the Americas, especially United States. It can only be one. And it's a fantastic game. I really, really enjoyed it. Nothing really bad to say about this. One of the characters is a little annoying. The little French girl here is kind of a pain in the ass. But other than that, the combat is solid. Lots of fun. Customization and strategy RPGs are your thing that you can sink a lot of hours into. I highly recommend this game. All right, next up, this little guy. I know that it gets harder and harder as retro games become more of a thing that people enjoy to say, hey, I bet you haven't heard of this. I bet you haven't heard of that. So this game and the next game are kind of a little bit of a cheat because they're pretty well known. Ninja Gaiden, whatever you want to call this guy. This game, barring Mega Man, is my favorite Nintendo game on the regular Nintendo Entertainment System. The difficulty is absurd, but it's somewhat of a fair challenge. Besides, the classic knockback into pits of death, the difficulty of respawning enemies just because you move a little bit to the left or to the right. It's kind of a pain, but the graphics are beautiful for such an old game. The music tracks are great. This was maybe one of the first games, one of the oldest games I played that has actual cinematics in between. It has little movie sections with stills of the pictures, and they kind of move around. It's really cool stuff, kind of ahead of its time. I have part 2 also. They don't like it as much, and I would love to get part 3 to complete the trilogy, but I am not going to pay the prices that they're asking for right now. I just refuse. It's kind of absurd. But this game, man, pick it up. If you guys are into Nintendo games and for some reason you don't have this one yet, I highly suggest you pick this game up. I think I picked this up back from Lukey Games back in the day for about maybe $12. And it quickly became one of my favorite games. I have over 100, maybe 125 Nintendo games at the moment. And this is still one that I come back to often. It's just a great time. The challenges your skill as, an old school gamer, whatever that is. And I just can't sing this game enough praises. Really, honestly, try it out. Now for the last game. I'm totally cheating with this one, okay? This is not even an unknown game. Parasite Eve. So, first and foremost, if you guys haven't picked this up already for some reason, and you guys are collectors, depending on what you think is affordable, the ship might have sailed on this one. This game and I think Vagrant Story, RPGs like in that, I picked those up maybe 3 to 4 years ago for about $20. This copy's immaculate. I think I recently checked on eBay and I couldn't find it cheaper than $100 in the condition it's in, which is kind of ridiculous, especially considering what a mainstream game this really is. But anyways, I have a little bit of a history with this game. I remember a long time ago, I had a buddy of mine that we used to play all these games with as I was growing up. And this game here was one of the ones I checked out very briefly, and I wasn't very interested. It didn't appeal to me too much. The combat was cool, but I was kind of a wuss in that age. I was kind of scared of things. I remember the original Tomb Raider, I bought it for the computer, and I returned it because it scared me. Also, the Doom port on the Super Nintendo, I bought that when it came out. I bought it at retail in Toys R Us back in the day. I ended up returning it because it scared me. All I had to do is I had to go back and buy these games afterwards. But anyways, this game, it kind of scared me a little bit. Yeah, okay. It kind of did back in the day a little bit. I don't know why, because it's really not scary. And also, I believe that the PlayStation era and the Nintendo 64 era, the graphics have not aged very well at all. And once again, I'm not a graphical snob, but it's a facet of gaming you can't ignore. When you're reviewing a game or talking about a game, you kind of have to mention it. It's like you can't say, hey, the music is great, the gameplay's solid. Here you go. It's like, but what if it looks like ass? Anyways, the game, it's not a looker, but it's an upgrade over Final Fantasy VII quality. It's more of a, if you remember Final Fantasy VIII, how the characters looked, a little bit more realistic and more well-proportioned. The storyline is phenomenal. I don't want to get into spoilers. Combat is great. I thought controlling only one player, because you only control one player in this game. Her name, Aya Brea, I believe is her name. As far as controlling only one character, it's actually pretty in depth of all you can do. You can run around real time, and park yourself and stop in a certain position where you want to kind of take action. You can use your parasite powers or shoot your guns, reload, use items, whatever it is, while the enemies are actively chasing you, trying to destroy you. The game is rather short, so if you're looking for a quick playthrough, I recommend this one as well. Music is solid. I mean, it's from Squaresoft, but once again, like I said last time, they pooped it out, and it's one of the games that I ate it up, even though many years after its release. Obviously, I only picked this up 3 or 4 years ago. Um, like I said, music is phenomenal, graphics phenomenal, combat is really innovative, and once again, another little term to coin, like just from Ninja Gaiden, ahead of its time. I highly recommend this game if you want a shorter playthrough of an art with RPG elements, with keeping a little bit of a horror vibe. And I know it's Halloween. I didn't plan on it to have this scary game on, but it's also kind of a Christmas game because in the beginning, I think it's New York and it's snowing. And whenever I think of New York and snow, I think of Die Hard, and that's a Christmas movie. And so this might be a Christmas game. So we're coming up on December, so play it. It's a perfect time to play it. Um, well, guys, that's kind of it. I'm gonna make another video a little bit later today of a game room tour, which will be so you guys can kind of. I won't talk about it now. You'll see what it is. I hope you guys enjoyed that. And till next time, which is maybe in the next hour or so, I'm going to post another one. Hope you guys enjoyed. Leave your comments. I love chatting, getting feedback. Hopefully these video qualities will improve as time goes on, depending on the feedback I get to see if it's worth my time. But I really love talking about games. I would love to be more in depth about what I discuss and show you gameplay maybe in the future. So I'll catch you guys later.